Hello everybody. Alright, I'm going to crack on with this display board. I've got to get this working for the shows. So yeah, I'm going to talk you through where we're up to at the minute with this display board. So far, we've only wired up the shunt. We've got the negative cable which is going to the battery. We've got the shunt and the power feed for it, and the alternative auxiliary input for the shunt. So the shunt is the only thing that's done. Today I am going to get some opposing red cable for the power in, the positive of the battery. It's going to go to the fuse, to the switch, to the bus bar. We'll do that, and then we can start wiring up the inverter, the solar charge controller, the Orion, and the servo eventually. All those things will be wired up to the bus bars through fuses or breakers. So let's crack on with this. So it's important that battery cables are always the same length. The positive will be the same length as the negative. Same goes for like the inverters. You'll have a positive and a negative input. They should always be the same length as well. So this is the cable, which is the same length as that black one there, but we're obviously connecting this cable to the fuse, and then the fuse has got to connect to the switch, and then the switch has got to connect to the bus bar. So I will have to shorten this a little bit to make sure that the entire run to the bus bar is the same length as this run. Right, we're using 40mm cable, which is rated up to 300 amps. So we're just going to use a 200 amp mega fuse for this system. So yeah, the battery is going to sit on the floor over here. We always go to a fuse before a switch. So that's our power into the fuse. Now we're going to connect the fuse to the isolation switch. These Victron switches are quite good. You've got on, off, and if you turn it one more, you can remove the key as well. So that it makes it tricky for people to mess around with your system. Alright, so before I put the switch back on, I need to make a piece of cable to join this to the bus bar. So let me take the cover off of this bus bar, and maybe, yeah, should be able to use this piece here. I've never really been one to be a perfectionist in OCD until I discovered my love of electrical installs and trying to get cables nice and neat. Now I love it. I just love trying to create these pieces of art. Some of these installs are a work of art to me, and a lot of people out there appreciate a really well put together Victron setup, especially with Victron. But so if you're taking cables through a wall, you can hide cables behind the wall. It doesn't really matter so much about neatness. Sometimes we still try and make behind the scenes, as it were, nice and neat as well. But this is a working wiring diagram, so all the cables are going to be visible on this. So because all these places are fixed, we need to make sure that the cables are the exact length. So what I do is I crimp one end on, and then I offer up a lug on the other end, and just sort of trim this cable bit by bit. So that's what I'm trying to do now. So I de-sheath the cable, put a lug on, offer it up before crimping it, and then if I need to take more off, I can. So that's almost there. I'm like 5mm I need to take off now. So I think that's fine there. So that is the exact length I need, so I'm just going to go and crimp that on, put some heat shrink on. By the way, we've already made a video on how to terminate cables correctly. So go and click on that card up there, you can go and watch that video. Oh, that's not bad. Right, we can put this end on here. There we go. We now have a positive and a negative feed into each of the bus bars. Now what can we do? Well, from this positive bus bar, now we need to have a feed in to the inverter, the multi-plus here. We also need to have a feed out from the solar charge controller into this bus bar. The out of the DC charger also needs to go to the bus bar. The servo at the top also needs to have a power feed to the bus bar. That's that. And the negative, same. You need to have a negative on the MPPT and the Orion, and negative for that as well. And this, of course. That is how you provide positive and a negative from the batteries to a bus bar. If you're using a shunt, the shunt goes between the negative battery and the bus bar. If you haven't seen the shunt video, go and click on that card up there, you can see the shunt video. And the positive has to go through a fuse, switch, then onto your bus bar. If you had a 12 volt fuse box, that would also come off this bus bar, and then you plug all your 12 volt appliances into that fuse box. We use these Blue C fuse boxes, which are very good. A bit more money, but they're very good quality fuse boxes. So yeah, if you were to have a fuse box mounted anywhere on here, then yeah, the positive feed will come off this, the negative feed will come off of this. But on the positive feed, you need a MIDI fuse, holder, and a MIDI fuse would be between the positive bus bar and your fuse box. So that's the next step on this display board done. I think I might leave that there because I'm going to do an individual video for the multi-plus, an individual video for this, and an individual for that. Lots of individual videos for each component on here. I'm going to do a bit more zip ties, tidy up these cables, make them a bit more taut. I'm going to have I don't think I need a zip tie on here or here holding up the board. I may zip tie this cable to this board here actually. I probably will do that. Alright, thank you for watching, see you in the next video.